Spreading all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the World of Juice channel, and welcome to what could be potentially my favorite new little mini series, I guess you could call it. I don't know if it's a full-blown series at this point. Maybe it'll turn out to be like that, but at this point, I'm kind of just putting it in the little mini series category, and that is a new type of career mode, franchise mode that Madden has not really ever seen because it's kind of hard to do in the game of Madden, mainly because the game of Madden is just not very well made and there's not a lot of flexibility in the game. It's more commonly seen in the game of NBA 2K, and that's where I saw this idea from. Again, I shout this guy out a bunch, but that's just because he's an awesome creator and a great NBA content creator, and that is Clique Productions, and you should really go check him out. I've shouted him out on the channel plenty of times. He's never going to see these videos, obviously, but I've shouted him out just because I think he's awesome and he does really, really good work. And I watch a lot of his videos. And the video that I saw, or the series that he's done in the past, he does these NBA 2K series where it's like a my GM and my career combined into a single series. So let's say one of his most famous ones is Damian Lillard. He did a Damian Lillard Trailblazers My Career, My GM, where he's in control of only Damian Lillard, like a My Career, but he's also has control of the actual team and what goes on in terms of signings or trades. So if he thinks that it's the right idea to add a piece to the Blazers to help Damian Lillard out, then he can make that move. But still, when he plays the games, he's only Damian Lillard. He only controls Damian Lillard. He's doing it currently on his channel with LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. And I thought, you know what? That could be a really, really interesting idea for Madden. How do I implement that into the game of Madden? How do I do that for my channel? And I thought about ways to do it. I'm still not 100% certain that I have the ideas actually nailed down of how I absolutely this is how I want it to go. But I think I kind of have a decent idea of how I want it to work. So we're going to be doing a Caleb Williams Chicago Bears franchise slash career mode where we only care about Caleb Williams and his progress and his development. Now, we also have control of the Chicago Bears organization, so we can make free agent signings, we can make trades, we can sign draft picks or draft rookie talent. We can do all that stuff to help the Bears, but our overall goal is to help Caleb Williams. And if we think that Caleb Williams isn't really the guy in Chicago, he's not going to be able to. We're not going to be able to see Caleb Williams progress and flourish into what we think he can turn into, or what we hope he can. Then we can obviously move him, and then we'll take control of whatever team he moves on to. So it's all about Caleb Williams and making him the greatest quarterback of all time. Obviously, we want to progress his career and turn him into a GOAT, but we also have the ability to help the Bears out as a franchise, make trades, make signings, draft players, do whatever we need to do to help this team progress and make a Super Bowl and obviously win a Super Bowl. But the overall goal is to focus on Caleb Williams and his progress. So that's kind of the way that I'm thinking of it. It's very similar to his series, so I want to shout him out. Clique Productions, great. He does great work. Link will be down below in the description for his channel and for his series that he does with the LaMelo Ball stuff. So if you want to go watch that, if you're a basketball fan and you want to go check him out, you probably already know who he is by this point, but just in case, I want to shout him out so you guys know. But that's the kind of the idea that I'm thinking for this. Now, it's obviously not going to be as easy as it is in NBA 2K. That's what I was kind of alluding to in the beginning because Madden, you cannot player lock a player once you've chosen to not do a player career. You know what I mean? So like if I loaded up a franchise and if I chose a team or a coach instead of a player, then you can't then go in each game and just player lock as one specific player like you can in NBA 2K, where you can player lock a player the entire game or entire season or whatever, but you're still the team as a whole. So you can't do that in Madden. You have to either choose to be a player, but then you can't control the team, or choose a team, but then you can't control just one specific player. So the way that I'm going to get around that, kind of, it's not going to be perfect, but we're only going to play the offensive moments for each game. That way, we can only affect what the offense does. We can only affect what Caleb Williams does. We're not going to jump in on defense at all. We're only going to play the moments on offense each game and try to make Caleb Williams as awesome as possible. Now, obviously, we're going to want to build the defense up so that we don't have to worry about scoring a bunch of points so the defense doesn't have to worry. We're going to have to help the defense out, obviously, which is why we're controlling the whole team. But I'm very excited about this. I think this could be a really, really cool idea. The only thing that I haven't nailed down specifically is how long I want these episodes to be. Like, do I want to go a full season in a video? Do I want to go half a season? Do I want to go a few games? How slow or how fast do I want to take the series? I don't really know just yet. So if you guys have any input, that'd be awesome. But I think what I'm kind of leaning towards right now is I think I want to do like close to half a season per video, where we jump into maybe like 7 or 8 games, obviously playing the moments on offense only, so it'll go quick. But that way we can progress the season so far, like far along, and we can really see that development. Maybe we go a little bit shorter. Maybe once we get to playoff action, we go a little bit slower than that. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of thinking, but I haven't really nailed it down yet. This first episode is going to just be like getting to know the Bears and explaining everything like that. And then the next episode will actually start doing some good stuff. So let's get into it. This intro's been long enough, but I just wanted to explain everything to you guys right away so you know what's going on. Let's get into this and discuss the meat and potatoes of this series, and then we can move forward from there. So if you're going to enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's go see Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears roster. Okay, so I want to point something out before we jump into the roster and the lineup. We are starting at the 2024 regular season, not the 2025 season, or I'm not using a start today or anything like that. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I have the updated rosters from post free agency. And if I was to do start today, then I wouldn't be able to use this roster because I'd be using the roster during the Super Bowl, which obviously hasn't had any of the free agent signings. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. We do get the free agent signings, but we have to go past Caleb Williams' rookie season, which kind of conflicts things because like we have Joe Tooney now on offense, and we have Hassan Reddick and all these guys that weren't here previously for Caleb Williams' rookie year, like Joe Tooney or who was the other? Is Tevin Jenkins a new guy? I feel like there's somebody else that's new. I can't remember exactly who's new, but there's a couple guys that are here that are different than they were when Caleb Williams was actually a rookie. But it's just I rather would have the updated rosters for every team across the league than just have the start today and then have to go through the offseason and then the rosters wouldn't be as similar. I'd rather have the new updated rosters. Maybe I'll change that if we do another one of these series with a different player. Maybe we'll go for like a start today type of thing and then do the offseason ourselves. But for this first one, I wanted to have the original rosters or the new rosters. But it just means that we have to have Caleb Williams as a rookie, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It just kind of like messes with the timeline a little bit. But this is the guy that we have to focus on right here. Caleb Williams. He's a 77 overall. He's a rookie. He's got hidden dev, which I think is superstar, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be super, it could be star. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he's got great stats. I mean, he's got 93 throw power. His accuracies are already really, really good as a rookie. Great throw on the run, which is good for me because I like to scramble and throw. You guys know that a lot. And he's got decent speed, 86 speed, 89 excel, 85 agility. That's really, really good speed for a quarterback. And I like to get out of the pocket a lot. He's got pretty decent awareness, but we can get that up very easily with just going and upgrading. And his accuracies will struggle a little bit at the beginning, but those are really, really good starting accuracies for a rookie. So I'm excited to use Caleb Williams, and he's got a very good team around him. Or he's got a solid enough team around him for us to like make some noise. We've got DJ Moore, we've got Rome Odunze, we've got DeAndre Swift, we've got a solid offensive line, especially with the addition of Joe Tooney. And then we saw on the defense, there's some pretty good players on this defense too. You know I'm a big Gay guy. Willie Gay's great. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, great players. Kevin Byard's a solid enough player. He's getting a little bit older, but he's still a great player. Jaquan Brisker hasn't really broken out, but he's still a young player that has potential. Cornerback room is great. For now, we're going to need to upgrade that, I think, because there's only three guys that I like, but we'll see how they perform. And the defensive line is probably the biggest upgrade that we need to do because, yeah, we've got Grady Jarrett, but is Grady Jarrett going to be anything for us? I might even just move Grady Jarrett into D tackle. I know he's a little bit older at this point, but I'd rather have him than the guys that we have at D tackle right now, Andrew Billings and the other dude. I'd rather have Grady Jarrett in there. So he's gonna start. I guess we could have Gervon Dexter start over Billings just because he's a little bit younger. But if we have that, the defensive line still needs a little bit of work. But I do like the way that we're sitting right now, and this team has potential to make the playoffs. It really, really does. I did load in the actual draft class. We have a real life draft class loaded in here. I couldn't find one that was like perfect. There's still guys like Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck, and I don't think those guys. Carson Beck obviously went to Miami, so he's staying in the league or staying in college, and I think Quinn Ewers is staying as well. As far as I know, I don't actually know if he's leaving or not. I don't honestly know. But I found one that I thought might be good enough. I mean, it was accurate enough. It wasn't perfect, obviously, but at least it wasn't like objectionable. There wasn't anybody that was crazy in this class that like obviously was coming back to college next year. At least not that I found. So it was good enough. We'll ride with it for this first year. But I wanted to have a real life class because it just makes it more immersive a little bit to have guys that you actually are familiar with the names and stuff. Obviously, as a Bears team, we're not going to be looking for a quarterback, but we certainly would not pass up a guy like Josh Connerly Jr. or Kelvin Banks or Travis Hunter or Emeka Ibuka or Will Campbell or anybody. We wouldn't pass up any of these guys. Or obviously an Abdul Carter, which I don't even know where Abdul Carter is at this point. Where is Big Abdul? What position do they have him playing? There's Barrett Carter. Oh, there's Abdul. There he is. I would definitely not pass up an Abdul Carter. That is for sure. So we'll get more familiar with how good those players are. This is the first time I've used this draft class, so I have absolutely no idea how good those guys are going to be. But I'm excited for this series. I really am. I think this has potential to be very, very fun. It's just I've got to iron out the little minute details like how long we're going to go, what kind of stuff is going to be involved in this, all that kind of just nitpicky type of stuff that we want to figure out. The free agent market is very interesting because obviously this is the free agent market of real life. This is who's, as at least when this roster was made, who's still a free agent who doesn't have a contract yet. And a Von Miller type is a very interesting addition to this team, possibly. He's not like a guy that we have to sign, but 86 overall at either a linebacker or defensive end spot, I don't hate that. I really don't. I mean, I know we have Montez Sweat and we have Hassan Reddick, but Willie Gay, I mean, I'm a fan of Willie Gay. I like him a lot, but at 76 overall, he's just not the highest overall player, and that could change. He could obviously grow. I'm not saying he can't, but if we signed a Von Miller type, that certainly would help us out a little bit in the immediate. And is Willie Gay like 27, 28? How old is he? He's 26. So he's still got a lot of potential to grow if he has a good season. So maybe Von Miller's not the right move. Because I don't want to replace Montez Sweat, I don't think. We could go to a 3-4, but that would make Dexter not be able to play. I don't know. Maybe we stay away from Von Miller. Let's take a look at the salaries, though. Let's see what kind of contracts we're working with for this season and for this team in general. So we sit with negative money. That's great because we're paying DJ Moore a lot of money. Montez Sweat's making a lot of money. Joe Tooney, obviously. Jalen Johnson. It doesn't have Joe Tooney's real life contract in here. It just has what he's on in the game. Grady Jarrett, Tremaine Edmonds, Cole Kmet. There's Caleb on his rookie deal. Nate Davis. Hassan Reddick. Yeah, we're in a little bit of financial trouble here. We are in a little bit of what is called financial trouble because Von Miller wouldn't be that expensive for 1 season or 2 seasons, whatever we extend him to. And Montez Sweat could, in theory, give us a lot of money, but his penalty is crazy. We'd incur a penalty of 63.7. Why is his penalty so much? Because his bonus is so crazy. That's why. His bonus is 63.7. I didn't realize that. What kind of penalty can we get away with here? Willie Gay has got no penalty. Um, Blasting Game has no penalty. Hassan Reddick has no penalty, but he doesn't really have a value, I don't think. Does Hassan Reddick have a value? If we go to the trade finder, does Hassan Reddick have value? Marvin Mims Jr., Cody Mouch, BJ Ojolari, Mekhi Becton, Nick Bolton. I do like Nick Bolton a lot. Adigazua, Matthew Bergeron. You know what? He actually doesn't have horrible value. I thought nobody would really want him because he's 29 and a little bit past his prime, but these are not horrible options for a guy like Hassan Reddick. And we could go and pick up Von Miller to replace him. Kayvon Thibodeau is intriguing. Maybe we build Kayvon Thibodeau. He could replace Willie Gay, but I kind of want to build Willie Gay. Maybe we trade TJ Edwards then. We trade TJ Edwards, or maybe we trade for Nick Bolton. I love Nick Bolton, and then we trade Tremaine Edmonds. That could be possible. What kind of value does Tremaine Edmonds have? Levi Wallace, Bryce Hall, Michael Wilson. So he doesn't have that good a value. Not as good as Hassan Reddick. And they're only one overall difference, although superstar and star might have a little bit of a factor difference there. But this is not amazing value for Tremaine Edmonds. We get money with two O's. Hamilton, Marcus Jones, Gainwell, Jamal Adams. Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds' value is not crazy good. It's not crazy good. If I put in, so if we trade Hassan Reddick, we free up our cap space. That would be pretty ideal. What kind of value does DJ Moore have? I'm not saying I'm going to trade DJ Moore. Just kind of curious to what kind of value he has. Joey Bosa, Vijay Jalare, second round picks. Brian Burns. Ooh. DJ Moore for Brian Burns is kind of crazy, actually. But then we lose a very valuable asset as a receiver. And we're trying to remember, we're trying to make this team as good as possible for Caleb Williams. We can't just go getting rid of his number one receiver like that. DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson. We have 2 second round picks, a third round pick, a 5, 3 sixes. I'm very much intrigued by trading away Hassan Reddick. I kind of like the idea of trading him away. I just don't know what I trade him for. Because if I'm going to trade him for Nick Bolton, we'd have to probably trade either TJ Edwards or Tremaine Edmonds, and neither of those guys really have crazy good value, I don't think, right? I mean, Jordan Davis, but I'd rather have Dexter. Jamison Williams could be fun. Ike Ekwonu. I mean, TJ's got more fun options than Tremaine Edmonds does. But then there's also Kayvon Thibodeau possibility. There's a Mekhi Becton possibility. There's Michael Mayer, but we have Cole Kmet. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. Maybe there's a way we can get a first round pick because if teams are offering me a second round pick, I think there was one team offering me a second, right? I could have sworn there was. Maybe it refreshed the trades. Oh no, here it is. Cowboys with the second round pick and a Digazua. So if there's a team, I know it's 2026, not 2025, but if there's a team offering a second round pick, maybe there's a world where we get a first round pick for Son Reddick, and then we're cooking. 2 first round picks in this draft could be pretty crazy. Teams that need a right end desperately. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that have it as their number one need. Vikings need it, but they could be pretty good this year. I don't really want to take their first round pick, and they don't have the cap room to take on Hassan Reddick anyway. I'd rather trade him to a team that has the potential to be pretty bad, obviously. The Cowboys are going to be good. Eagles are going to be good. The Giants have potential to be bad, and they can eat the contract, that's for sure. Is there a world where we can get the first or sixth overall pick for Hassan Reddick? That's not that bad, surprisingly. That is not that bad. They need a quarterback. All I have is Tyson Bagent, so I can't give you that. They don't need a running back. They need a center. I have Drew Dalman and Colton Shelton or Coleman Shelton. What? Coleman Shelton. He has a strange name. His last name is his first name. His first name is his last name. Uh, they need a right guard. I have Nate Davis. They need a right tackle. Not going to give you all the stuff that they have. I don't want to give them, unfortunately. I would be willing to give you Daryl Taylor. That still keeps us in the red. It's probably going to have to be a draft pick, unfortunately. We do have two second round picks. I would swap a second for a first, I'd obviously. I feel like having a first would be better than having a second. That gets it very close. We can do this. We can trade Hassan Reddick to the Giants for a first round pick. I have plenty of six. You can have one of them, I guess. Is this what I want to do, though? Do I want to send Hassan Reddick to the Giants? I think so. It's going to take more than that. I can give you a bunch of six if you want them. That's close. How about I take away those two, and then I give you a fifth next year? Ooh, that's very close. What about a five the year after? Trade offer accepted. Hassan Reddick and a bunch of picks goes to the Giants for a first round pick. That frees up enough money to sign Von Miller for a season. And then we'll go from there, I guess. So we sign Von Miller. Oh, we can't sign him. We're just negative still. He's a little bit too expensive. Why does he have to be so expensive? We trade him, and then we go over here, and we restructure Montez Sweat's contract. We restructure Joe Tooney, and we restructure Grady Jarrett. There we go. That frees up a lot of money, actually. That gives us enough to be able to sign Von Miller for a season. Plus, we were able to pull a first round pick out of the Giants, which is kind of crazy. So, sign Von Miller for 1 year to an active deal, and he will just come in and replace Hassan Reddick. They're both, I mean, Hassan Reddick was on a 1 year deal anyway. So, to be able to squeeze a first round pick out of him, I'd say is pretty awesome. And Von Miller will put up similar numbers, I would think. He'll put up similar numbers. So, that we come away with a first round pick to help out Caleb Williams. We got two first round picks, our own in the Giants. So now this isn't just about Caleb Williams being good. It's also about can the Giants be pretty bad? So, like I said, I'm going to try and figure out how I want this to go. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I want this to be a long miniseries or a short miniseries. I don't know how we're going to do this. Your help would be very much appreciated. If you have any suggestions on how you want to do it, again, go check out Clique Productions videos because he's just awesome. So go check him out. And yeah, that's probably going to do it for this first episode. Just kind of like an introduction episode, just telling you kind of my thoughts, what I'm thinking, the basic format of the series, the basic idea and premise of the series. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, and join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.